Our second project for the evening is the Labs Pathway Project. Now, I was excited to introduce to you Dr. Scott Brown, who was our academic lead for this project, but unfortunately, at the last minute, he's had to pull out due to illness. So he sends his apologies, and I will do my very best to represent the team well. So the Labs Pathway Project was a program that expanded the reach of labs at ADA by engaging academics and students that had not previously had relationships with some of our creative technology labs. We have some world-leading research labs on our campuses and in ADA, but there has been an issue of access in the past that the Labs Pathway program aims to overcome by supporting novel, fast turnaround projects in a research lab context. In term 2 of this year, we ran a 10-week pilot program that was located in 3 of our labs on our Paddington campus. The first was the 3D Visualization Aesthetics Lab, led by John McGee, which houses a range of cutting-edge VR and 3D animation technologies. The 3D Val, as it's known, is known for using gaming engines to allow viewers to experience worlds at a microscopic scale. This includes internal organs, viruses, and subterranean plant processes. The Creative Robotics Lab is led by Mari Velanaki and uses a range of robotic and embodied interactive technologies to explore human experiences mediated by emerging technologies. Their research specialisations include assistive technologies, culture and technology, and human futures. Many members of the CRL have a creative practice, and the lab is interested in what art and design can bring to spaces often located in engineering or computer science. And finally, the Epicentre, our Expanded Perception and Interaction Centre, which was led by Thomas Bednarz and now by John McGee, was really the start of this program. The Epicentre uses immersive, high-resolution screen technologies to create novel, embodied experiences for audiences, and includes visualizations of big data, mining applications, and narrative artworks. Now, Scott used all of these images, these particular images, for a reason. They all show a common perception of the labs, and that is that their doors are closed, but this is not the case. Every lab director wants to engage with more academic students and novel projects, but is limited in terms of time and resources to support them. Hence the aim of this project. So the project aimed to address this problem by introducing a model that helps academics and students to access our world-leading research labs in a very accessible way. This not only allows more people to take advantage of the resources and expertise, but also helps communicate the narrative and interests of each lab. They are not limited to the narrow technology focus that the name of the lab might suggest. By introducing new researchers, staff and students to the labs, we were hoping through this project to establish new projects, relationships and ongoing collaborations across the faculty. So 3 elements of the LPP model were the academic mentor, the ADA lab and the lab advisor, and a student research assistant. This allowed high-performing ADA undergraduate or postgraduate coursework students with an interest in research and a technical lab advisor to work together with an academic who had a novel short-form project to explore. The importance of each of these roles in the project is that it finds a balance between self-direction and support. This ensures that LPP projects do not place undue stress on each lab, but those academics and students new to the lab environment can also access support when needed. Academics are able to kickstart their research with the help of a student assistant, and students are provided, most importantly, with an opportunity to be mentored by leading researchers and experience a working research environment. So, for the pilot rollout of 2022, 5 projects were chosen from an EOI call-out, many of which their participants are here, so thank you for joining us. These projects were chosen for their novel framing of what research can be and what can be done in each lab, as well as a clear understanding of what can be achieved in a 10-week format. The 10-week structure of the LPP was designed to line up with T2 to help students manage their existing course load, and they were also supported by the Creative Confidence funding that Claire mentioned at the beginning in recognition of their contribution to the project. So, object image making, led by Bic Chu and Penny Zhang, also worked with the 3D Val advisor Benjamin Bailey. Vic's practice of making jewellery objects by hand was translated into a digital space using some of the 3D and VR technologies found in the 3D Val. Exploratory and iterative project that identified opportunities to prototype quickly before committing to expensive and time-consuming materials. Virtual characters versus social robots, led by Eduardo Sandoval and Max Tinter, also worked with a 3D advisor from the 3D Val lab, Benjamin Bailey. A collaborative project that spanned across the 3D Val and the Creative Robotics Lab. It was also great to see the labs working across as well. The project developed virtual characters to compare human responses to characters in the digital space versus embodied robot interactions. And there's some great video work of that in our exhibition. Heightened Perceptions, led by Haida Akmal and Jonathan Shaw, worked with Creative Robotics Lab advisors Sarita Hurst and Ethan Jones. The project used wearable sensing technologies to explore ideas around agency and sentience of smart objects. And it brings a philosophical approach to designing non-human agents. The UCE 2030 project, led by Stephen Liu and Ilpo Koskinen, and student assistants Sophia Honkoot and Van Andrew Nguyen, worked with Epicenter advisors Conan Burke and Robert Lawther. The project used the novel technologies and expertise of the Epicenter to visualise energy technologies and use. Particular interest was in triggering reflections and conversations around clean energy use. And finally, XR Dance Studio, led by Matt Kabang and Shia Liu, worked with Epicenter advisors Robert Lawther and Conan Burke. In collaboration with a professional dancer and photographer, Matt and Shia used motion capture to record dancer movement and bring this into a virtual space. This approach offers the opportunity to choreograph dance work or set design remotely in the future. So some of the outcomes were that we saw some papers, conference papers and posters come from the work. The work has seen some exhibition outputs. We've seen some really strong new academic affiliations with our labs, and we've seen students taking up research contracts as an outcome of the work. And in a very exciting recent development, we've also been able to secure Credly badges, which formally recognise the skills gained in the project by those new to the lab. So, to conclude, the student feedback from the LPP was particularly strong. Oh, this is the great animation. It was particularly strong. Students overall felt supported within the program and relished the opportunity to be mentored in the world-leading research environments. And some students mentioned they'd heard interest from their peers in also having a chance to experience this program in the future. Based on that success of the LPP in 2022, we do hope to expand the program across all of ADA's labs in 2023. We would like to increase the collaboration across ADA in the LPP moving forward, with more academics and students from Kensington coming to Paddington and vice versa. There are opportunities to link with work integrated learning in the future also. So if you'd like to talk more with somebody about this project, we have some wonderful participants who've set up their work in one of our exhibits. So please have a chat to them over a drink at the end. A big thank you to the directors of our 3 labs that collaborated with us on that project, and also a special thanks to Regaya Alcaf for her brilliant administration of the project, and Joanna Chiang for amazing production of the wonderful films that you're seeing in all of the places tonight.